is opened. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what is the view? View means if I want to expand, okay, means in larger view, zoom. I will zoom it out. There is some command that can increase the size of the text.
You can go to view.
Huh?
Sir, go to view.
View.
For expanding into folding section.
You are not audible clearly. Where is
Sir, it is visible, sir.
it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will explain. Okay. So first you see that it is written cross correlation. Okay, and one condition I have made that written that length of two sequence needs to be same or otherwise need zero padding. Okay, so you can write your program in such a way that it automatically adds zero, it adds zero, or you just give the input accordingly so that the two sequence will be same. So I have kept both the options like taking the inputs, okay, and also I have made the given the options to write the position of origin. Okay. So position of origin is position of origin. How we will write? Let us say if I take this array, okay, all are one, and let us say the origin is at the middle of the sequence, at the center of the sequence, that is this position. Okay, that means the array number, array element number 1 2 3 4. Okay, fourth is the position of the origin. So I have written n1 is equal to 4. Okay, n1 is equal to 4. Similarly, I have considered another sequence h1. Okay, you can see I have highlighted with blue, whose sequence is 6543210, and it has the same origin in at this point, okay, at fourth position, n2 is equal to 4. Okay. So I have directly given the input, or I can keep the command also like x input the enter the first sequence, then another this thing that enter the position of the origin. You can say it is written that enter the position of the origin. For example, if origin is at x5, that is fifth position, so write n1 is equal to 5. Okay. This way I have made the option, and so either you directly give the input, or by using comment you can allow the program to take the input. Then next thing is that what I have done, that I have made the time axis, define the time axis of x of n. So time axis I have made using by with considering the origin. Okay. So for that, what is there? That is, I have considered the length of x. You can see it is the command that length of x. Then it starts from n1. So n1 is equal to 4. Okay. So first it starts from -3 Okay, minus 3, then minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and it will go up to this length of x is 4 plus 3, 7. 7 minus 4, that means 3. So minus 3 to plus 3, it is the time axis. Okay, for the sequence x minus 3 to plus 3. It is written so that if the program is generalized. Okay, any value you can give the origin. Okay, and also any sequence of any length you can give. Similarly, for the second sequence h1, okay, I have given this way, and also I have taken here also input enter the sequence. I have written the command that h1 is the input and enter the sequence same of first one. You have written there. Okay. Then I am not running now. I have just directly given this one. You can simulate it. I will share this file. Then H1 is their sequence I have directly given, and N2 is equal to 4 is the origin. So again I defined the time axis of H1N. Okay. That is the second sequence. Okay. For which the correlation, cross correlation will be calculated. So NN2 is the second time axis of second sequence, and it also starts from 1 minus n2, that is 4, 1 minus 4, that is minus 3, to my plus 3. Then what I have written, h is equal to flip lr. Okay, flip lr, that is flipping is required because cross correlation is equal to convolution of xn and h of minus n. Okay, it is the same thing. Cross correlation is h of, cross correlation is convolution, but the one sequence, the second sequence needs to be reversed. Then origin, then is origin. Then here also, if you flip the sequence, then origin also will shift. Okay, origin also will flip. So that's why I have written the origin changes after flipping. That is origin of it. That is origin of h of minus n. That is the reversed sequence. So how I have made in that thing implemented, like the n to just you have to change the origin by this command. Length of h1 you have there. You have already, you have to calculate the length of that particular sequence minus n2 plus 1. Okay? This is required. Why it is so? You will see and understand easily. Okay? So then n2 is the origin of the second sequence. Now next we follow the program of convolutions that you have already done, okay, or already understood, and have, and those who have not done till now, then you have to do it in the same program. You will learn, we will learn both correlation and convolution. Okay, so this program is also useful for implementing convolution in general. In general, considering all the general or ideal cases. Okay, so then origin of the output sequence. The origin of the output sequence, that is very important. Yeah, what once it is the output sequence is generated, how the origin of the output sequence is there. So actually the formula is, if you know the starting points, okay, that is of both the sequence n1 and n2, then starting point means what? Can anybody tell what is the starting? What does the starting point mean? Starting point of any sequence. Can anybody tell? Starting point of any sequence. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you mean by starting point of any sequence in discrete signal?
Sir, the origin.
Eh? Yes? Please tell.
Sir, the origin of the sequence.
From that you can find the origin of the sequence, but starting point is not the origin. Suppose your time axis starts from -3, okay, -2, okay, -1, say -3 to +3 of any sequence. So starting point means the time axis from which it starts. So in that case, if the time axis is -3 to +3, then time axis, then starting point for that particular sequence is -3. Okay. You have seen in case of convolution, we have stated some formula we have discussed that if you know the starting point of the two sequence N1 and N2, if they are N1 and N2, okay, then the out starting point of output sequence is N1 plus N2. So, so if you have given any sequence, okay, let us say 6 4 6 5 4 3 2 1, that six sequence. So starting point means if the array starts from some value, okay, what is the time axis for that? What is the starting time axis for that? Whatever the array value is, 6 4 3 2 1, whatever it is, you once you fix the origin, then the first element of the array, okay, is positioned at what time instance. That is the starting point. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, according to the formula of convolution, the starting point would be n1 plus n2. But here we are not considering that starting point as the origin. We are considering the position of origin. Okay. Position of origin is n1 and n2, okay, in the array. That way we have given. Okay, you can see that position of origin we have mentioned. That position of origin we are mentioning in the form of position of origin, not starting value. If it is, since you have to write in the MATLAB accordingly, so in this case, the position of the origin would be P. Okay, that is N1 plus N2 minus 1. It is same thing, but since one this you have to start from that particular value. Okay, starting point, okay, since MATLAB sequence starts from 1, so that way we can see that it is actually starting point starts from n1 plus n2 minus 1 according to this program. Okay, you can write it different way. So now cross correlation output is calculated, display and position is written. Now next step is okay, you have to write the time axis of the output. How will you get the time axis of the output? That is also one important thing. So you know the positions of the origin in the time axis. You know only that one, the positions of the origin. Okay. So once you know the length of the sequence, so length of the sequence is what? Total length of the output sequence is length of x plus length of h minus 1. Okay, that is the total length of the output sequence. So accordingly, just as we have performed that time axis of the previous sequence, like this way, it is 1 minus n1, 1 minus n1. If you know the starting value of any sequence, origin of the any sequence n1, So it should be 1 minus n1 to 1 to length of x minus n1. Okay. So this is the method to implement the time axis, provided origin of the positions of the origin should be known. So once you know the positions of the origin of the any sequence, you can define the time sequence, time axis. So this is the time axis n and y of the output sequence, that is 1 minus p incremented by 1 to length of that total sequence minus p, the origin of the sequence. So now I have plotted that one. Okay. So if you run, I run that program now. So you see just how this it is coming. Okay. So you can see that we have considered the sequence 1 1 1 1 sequence all can start with this time axis minus 3 minus 2 minus 1 0 1 2 3 and position or the second sequence is this one. Okay, it is not flipped one, it is the original one. So this is one, and this is the correlation graph of the two sequence, correlation graph of the two sequence. Okay. So this tells that correlation is maximum at 0. Okay, that means both the that means similarity. It finds a similarity between two signals. So one is constant throughout time, another is decreasing. So what is the relation between these two? Okay, this is the relation. So now this is the convolution program, a correlation program. So autocorrelation, what you need to do that here, I have not modified this. You have to do it yourself. So I have just deleting this one. So yes. So also you can verify this with your result. Okay. So in command window, uh, here you can see that using the command xcore, okay, it is coming same. Okay, so x cross correlation y1, and this is the theoretical value. Okay, theoretical value. So we can write, but with this, so let us display one thing here, that display display the cross correlation output in theory using command. So have you understood? Yes. Have you understood this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please raise your hand who has understood.
Uh,
Is not visible. Now it is coming. Okay, flip, then calculation of cross correlation. Okay. Then length, then this one, zeros. Zeros. Okay, you have used the command flip, and okay. What is the function of this y is equal to the under bracket two brackets, what that matrix is?
Sir, which one, sir?
That is after at 10th line.
Sir, this one, sir, it's like a temporary storage, sir.
Eh?
Sir, it's like null vector, sir.
Null matrix. Okay. So is it working? What is the output? We just show.
Yes, sir, I'll run it, sir.
Uh,
Sir, is it visible, sir?
no, you changed to show the command
Yes,
part.
sir. One
Command
line
part.
and share, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, now it's visible.
Uh, no. Now it is coming. First sequence, second sequence.
Yes. Sir, this one I did without using the XCOR function, sir, and this one I did by using the XCOR function. I got the same graph.
Okay. So one is without using, okay, without, and another is using.
Yes.
So just change the and one more thing that you have plotted the second sequence. Is it flipped one or original one? Okay. No, these are the two sequence. Okay. Flipped one or original one?
Sir, it's the flipped one.
No, flipped one is not your original sequence. Okay. You have to plot the sequence, the original one.
Okay, sir, I'll make the same.
Because h of n, xn correlation h of n, not xn correlation h of minus n. This convolution h of minus n, not correlation.
Yes, sir, I'll just do it.
Hmm. And another thing, you just take the examples that I have considered. Okay, like you take this example, all are 1 1 1 1 in the first sequence. Okay, all are 1 1, and second sequence is starts from 6 5 4 3 2 1. Gradually it is decreasing. Okay, that you do and show it now. You just open the file and just change it and run the program.
Yes.
Okay. Harshvardhan.
Sir, one second, sir. My actually MATLAB is lagging a little.
Okay. Program is obtain inverse, that is red one, obtain inverse jet transform using the partial fraction expansion and test its stability. Okay. So uh, first is I have, is it visible that one manual, handwritten manual I am showing, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So to obtain the partial fraction using jet transform of the jet transform expression and to find the inverse jet transform. So there are two parts. One is you have to uh, get the jet transform of any sequence and plot that or display that and find the inverse jet transform of any given uh, of any given expression which is in the form of jet domain, okay, or jet variable. So what is the formula for jet transform? Jet transform formula is, you can see it is written that jet transform of a sequence is of xn is given by xz is equal to n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of z x of n z to the power minus n. Okay? Where z is the complex variable, that is r is equal to e to the power j theta. Okay? And region of convergence is one important parameter, okay, that is ROC. So in ROC, it means that the Z transform has is finite. Okay, so the value of Z is this within some range. Okay, so now we can write that the inverse procedure of obtaining xn from xz is called the inverse Z transform. Okay. This can be done by various methods like power series method, partial fraction, and the contour integration method. By partial expansion method, we can write xz is equal to sum of these many parts, say x and separate expression x1z, x2z, x3z. We have to separate out, okay, in terms of partial fractions. Now, taking the inverse Z transform, we get xn. Okay, if you take the inverse Z transform of these all individual terms, then you will get x of n individually from each of the terms. Okay, so that should be some in some elementary form, so that you can compare that with some known formula. Okay, known formula is what? 1 by 1 minus az inverse. Okay, so in that case, its z transform is inverse z transform is a to the uh, minus a to the power n un u minus n minus u minus n u minus n minus 1. Okay, so that means anti-causal sequence. Okay, so that means it depends on ROC. Okay, it depends on ROC that what should be. So provided ROC is provided, you can find the inverse jet transform. Okay, of a corresponding term. So we'll see this. So here some theory related to that contour integration is given, but that is not required. So let us write the program first. That write a program to get the Z transform expression for the signal x of n. Okay. So we are considering x of n as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where origin is at n is equal to 0. Okay. This is the origin given at n is equal to 0. So uh, n is equal to, directly we can write in this way, the time axis, okay, directly, or using some formula, okay, that we discussed today. You can write the time axis as -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, since origin is at the middle of the sequence. Then z is equal to, we have to express z as symbol, okay, z not as variable, z as symbol or character. So we write define z is equal to sim, sym sim under yes colon z, and p is equal to what? Z into to the power minus n. Okay, z into to the power minus of n, because it is z to the power minus n. So directly we will get the sequence. Okay, and here you can see that the sequence is given as this way method. Okay.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there you define that as symbol. No, sir.
Hmm.
Then that power minus n. I didn't understand that part, sir.
Okay, z actually it is the power z to the power minus n according to the formula of z transform. What is the formula of z transform?
No, sir. I was saying that Z should be a matrix. No, sir.
Z is not a matrix. Okay, here, let me check. Let me check. It is actually Z is a variable only, not means it is a symbol only. So first, it is once this variable, this symbol is multiplied with each and every value of n. Okay, each and every value of n in the form of matrix. So first it will be when n is equal to minus 2. Okay, that time it will be z to the power minus of minus 2. That means z to the power 2. Okay, that to z to the power 2 term is there. You can see z to the power 2. Okay, then next term is z to the power minus 1, minus of minus 1. So z to the power 1. Okay, z to the power 1 term is there or not? With coefficient, yes, so it should be multi, yes, another line is there, it is not shown here. Yes, can you see this line, this statement?
Sir, the for loop one, sir.
For loop.
Yes, sir.
So for loop performs the z transform. First, what is done, you can see that x into z to the power minus n, and each time it is getting added. Okay, so x into z to the power minus n, uh, each value of n it is considering. So yes, then sum is calculated. Okay, b is equal to sum of a. That means all individual terms are added. Okay, you can all add individually. Okay, a, so in the array of a, all the individual terms, that is of 2 to the power z, 4 by z, this one is calculated and automatically they are added. Okay. So here, what is the role of this p? Okay, p is not used, I think. P is not required in this case. P is not used. So there is no role of p for this case, this part. Okay. So just you have to write the symbol, z is equal to symbol, and then go using z as symbol, then multiply that x, the constant, okay, with z and with the power of n, index of n. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you just do it, and then another part is slightly big. That is, write a program to find the inverse z transform of the given function. Okay, that is xz is equal to 1 by 1 minus 1.5 z inverse plus 0.5 z to the power minus 2. Okay. So find x of n. What is the inverse of it? So first you calculate the z transform using that part, that program. Okay. And other part is to find the inverse z transform. So once xz is given, x of z, any expression, so you have to find the inverse of xz, that is x of n. When there are two cases, when ROC is mod z greater than 1 and when ROC is within some range, 0.5 to 1. So there are two cases. One is exterior of a circle, okay, mod z greater than 1. So that corresponds to causal sequence. Okay, causal sequence, exterior of a circle. Okay. And another part is, so you have to follow for causal sequence a to the power n un. Okay. And the next part, that is, this has two range. One is greater than 0.5, okay, and less than 1. So there are two parts. So one is exterior of a circle and another is interior of a circle. So ROC is within the two concentric circle, okay, within the range, within the region between two concentric circles. that is greater than zero point 0.5 and less than 1. So in this case, both causal and anti-causal sequence are there. Okay? When ROC is mod z, when mod z greater than zero point 0.5, it represents causal sequence. So you have to follow a to the power n un sequence, a to the power n un. And when mod z less than 1, you have to follow the interior, that is interior of a circle. That means it is an anti-causal sequence, that is minus a to the power n u minus n minus 1, minus a to the power n u of minus n minus 1, that is anti-causal sequence. Great. So both it represents a it is a non-causal sequence. Okay, both causal and anti-causal are present. Then let's do the let's write the program. So clear all, close all, sims z means you are declaring z as the symbol, and n is equal to z. That means what? It is numerator. Okay, and denominator d is equal to z square minus 1.5 z plus zero point 0.5. How it is coming? It is coming as, if you multiply, as we told, that both the numerator, it should, you are making into positive power of z. So this one, that numerator would be z square divided by z square minus 1.5 z plus zero point 0.5. And since numerator yeah, order sense, we have to write in the form of, according to the partial fraction, it should be written in the form of xz by z, xz by z. So in the numerator it should be z. Okay, z by this one, 1 minus point. So numerator becomes z only, and denominator becomes z square minus 1.5 z plus zero point 0.5. Okay, this is the expression, only simple expression. But here you see that how to write those coefficients in MATLAB. Okay. Since it is a ratio, okay, ratio of two expression, z by z square minus 1.5 z plus 5. So how will make the MATLAB understand that this is a ratio? So you have, for that you have to write the coefficients for each of the polynomial in the form of array. Each of the polynomial in the form of array. So B is one array considering the coefficients of the numerator expression. Numerator expression is z only. So its coefficient is 1. Okay, 1. 1 into z. And it does not have the coefficients for z square or any other constants. All other terms are 0. So since it is a second order expression, so we write the same way, both the coefficients array of both numerator and denominator should be same. So 0 1 0 would be the array for coefficients of numerator. So 0 means z square now term is not present in numerator. 1 means z is present with coefficient 1, and 0 means no constant. So it is 0 1 0. And a is what? A is the coefficient array of denominator. Okay, with first elements as 1, because z square is having constant 1. Okay, z square is having constant 1. Then second term is related to z, coefficients of z. So it is minus 1.5. And third term is constant only, that is 0.5. So both coefficients array of numerator and denominator we have got. Okay, then there is a formula that is called residue. Okay, residue means it divides two expression. by residue mechanism, residue method. Okay. What they divide? They divide B by A. Okay. B you have taken the array 0, 1, 0, and A you have taken the array A of denominator. B is the array of numerator and A is the array of denominator. So you divide B by A and their results is stored, okay, in one array of three variables, that is RPK. RPK. Okay, RPK. So, what is RPK? R represents the uh, roots. Okay, R represents roots and P represents. So once you divide, okay, once you divide, it will come uh, in the form of small ratio, like uh, like uh, say b1, say b1 by some z minus a, like that. So the coefficient is b for that term, okay, and a is the root poles, okay. So r is the coefficient. So once the residue is calculated, okay, residue is what? The whole series, that whole ratio, that is this one, xz, the expression of xz is divided into some smaller partial fractions, some smaller fractions, okay, and each fractions have coefficients r1 divided by z minus p1 plus coefficients r2 divided by z minus p2. Okay, so if there are p means poles, okay, and r means root, the coefficients are constants. So if there are three poles are created, so uh, if there are three poles, so there will be three terms, and each terms will be having constants r1 divided by z minus p1 plus constant r2 z divided by z minus p2 plus constant r3 divided by z minus p3. So these three poles, if it creates three poles, then the three terms will be created, and each terms will be having coefficients or constants r with pole p. And since this is a second order system, this will be create, there are two poles, two roots will be there, okay, in the denominators expression there are two roots, z square minus 1.5 z plus zero point 0.5. In this case there will be two roots. So for that two roots, two poles will be created. And k, this term k is what? Is a constant. Okay, if the order of the denominator is numerator is higher than the order of numerator, some value will come, otherwise it will be 0. Okay, so if k is not 0, so there is a constant will be created, and that should be multiplied with delta function. Okay, so that is called, that is done using strcat, string cat. Strcat means here uh, delta n, okay, whatever the value is uh, here, it's k. Here it should not be t, it is k. Okay, just make the corrections. Okay, it is actually k. Okay, not t, it is k. So str string cat means two strings will be concatenated. So one string is k, that is generated from this. There is a residue with this k value. So k into, if some constant is created, it will be multiplied with delta n. Okay. Then otherwise, if not, then it is 0, nothing else. So 0 will be created and stored in an array T. Okay, in an array T. Then then there are R number of then there is one array in variable R. Okay, there is one array in variable P. So say there are two constants will be created. So two constants, we don't know two constants. So we have considered one variable I, that is length is having from 1 to length of R. Okay, then uh, T is equal to, okay, str cat. Okay, str cat. So str cat, here any previous value, that is T is stored with 0. Okay, if nothing is there, or if something is there, then it is stored with that value with delta function that is there, and that will be concatenated plus, it will be added with this character plus and the first bracket will be there. Okay, then another command is there, that is number to string conversion, number to string. Okay, so if some value is there in the area of R, okay, if some value is there in the array of R, so that value will be converted into string. Okay, and then we have to close the bracket, then that constant will be multiplied with the poles, okay, poles value with num to string pi, and with within bracket, okay, bracket and close bracket, with power to the power n. Okay, with power to the power n and un, because that I told that if it is a causal sequence, it should be alpha to the power n un, or alpha to the power n u of n. So alpha is that pi pole, okay, and un is that un, and r is any constant is there with that is r. So it is, then you can display it. Okay, this is the first part because it is a causal sequence. So you can see the graph, you can see the result for that it is 0 plus 2 into 1 to the power n un minus 1.5 to the power n un. So to represent the whole yeah, this inverse Z transform sequence, we are using this command num to string. So number will be converted into string, and you have to use brackets and star for multiplication symbol, then power, etc., etc., blah blah. Then here delta, since this k is 0, so that's why this 0 is coming. Okay, 0 would be there. Okay, so this way you have to write the program for this part, first part, and for second part there are two parts. One is the causal and another is anti-causal. So again we are writing that same format. This b is equal to here the same program, clear all, close all, the same sims z, then b and ar, this one. Okay, that coefficients of numerator and denominator, then again we are calculating the number to yes, num to string str. Okay, CDE automatically. Initially, we are calculating it. You can do it this way also. So first you calculate, convert them into string. Okay, then the same method, that if the constant is not 0, then it should be multiplied with delta function. Okay, then uh, here here we do that part. Okay, poles and zero. Now here one condition is that if pi is equal to 5, that poles, okay, poles is equal to the ROC के साथ अगर मैच कर रहा है तो ये मतलब ROC जो दिया हुआ है वो कॉजल सीक्वेंस हो जाएगा, और ROC के साथ अगर उससे ज्यादा है तो वो पोल्स जो है वो ROC के अंदर है तो कॉजल सीक्वेंस, और ROC के बाहर है तो वो एंटी कॉजल हो जाएगा, इसलिए मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगा u माइनस n माइनस 1 से। ठीक है, और इसको डिस्प्ले कर दोगे तो ये आएगा। तो यहाँ तक आज का लिए यहाँ तक है, फिर हम लोग स्टेबिलिटी पार्ट बाद में करेंगे। ठीक है, पहले जेट ट्रांसफॉर्म और इनवर्स जेट ट्रांसफॉर्म सीख लो, उसके बाद स्टेबिलिटी पार्ट हम लोग बाद में करेंगे। अजी इसको हम अपलोड कर दे रहे हैं, लोग इसको ट्राई करो अभी। अच्छा इसके अंदर था ना, इसमें अपलोड फाइल्स। Okay, I am keeping all the files in the section, okay, class material. Okay, removing those from many other place. So you just go through file, SP lab, inverse jet transform and stability file. Okay. So we have discussed the how to write perform jet transform and inverse jet transform. Just go through it and later on we'll see the program for stability. And the next week you have to be prepared with all this MATLAB with this file and results. Okay, and now start doing your program regarding this. Okay, so anybody has any doubt so that we can discuss here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So will you see the file now or do the program now?
Sir,
We will try it first by ourselves, then we will discuss.
Okay. Okay, you just go through the file. Okay, that part we have discussed, up to the part that we have discussed. I am here for 10 minutes. Okay, you can ask me anything for that. Are you able to see this?
yes, sir.
Okay. So the same program that we are discussing. Okay, so we have considered two numerator and denominator with coefficients a and b. Okay. Then we used residue command, residue a comma b, and for ROC mod z greater than 1. This is the part. Okay. So y is some initial variable where the output is stored is considered. Okay, it is a null string. Okay, null string is considered y, and if the constant k is not zero, then that constant will be multiplied with delta function. Okay, because this is coming if the order of the numerator is greater than the denominator, so some value will come. Okay, so or if it is same, okay, say z cube by z cube kind of thing is there, then some value will come. So for that it is there, and normally if since numerator order remains lower than the denominator, then 0 would be there. Okay, and it is else, that's why else is there, so we consider this thing 0. Okay, so then we discuss that since poles will be created, so according to the number of poles, okay, so initial y is the delta function is there or it is 0, then that should be added with the constants ri with the pole. Okay, multiplied constants ri will be multiplied with the power of pole p to the power n, un kind of thing. So this is first part. Okay, that is part 1. Let us write it is part 1 for the problem given problem, and this is the part 2 for the given problem. Okay, so again here we consider the null matrix and null string t, and that actually that is missing in the file. Okay, this file that t is missing, so they have considered t is equal to strcat t, but actually it should have been one line is missing, that is t is equal to strcat num to string, this one num to string with that pole null yeah, variable. So again the same process. Okay, same process, and then there are two conditions. One is causal sequence un, and another is non-causal sequence u of minus n minus 1. Okay, for the poles which do not lie. Okay, ये मतलब दो पोल है जो 0.5 से जो ज़्यादा अगर है, 0.5 का सेम है, ये मतलब पोल्स अगर ये जो आरओसी है 0.5 इसके अगर मैच करता है वो पोल, तब ये होगा, तब तुम्हारा आरओसी का जो लिमिट है उसके साथ अगर ये पोल्स मैच करेगा, तब क्या होगा, वो यूएन कॉजल सीक्वेंस होगा, और अगर मैच नहीं करेगा तो वो एंटी कॉजल सीक्वेंस है। तो ये हम अपलोड कर दे रहे हैं, इसको भी देखना, मतलब उसका मैटलैब वर्जन है ये। सो इसको हम अपलोड कर दे रहे हैं इसमें। लेट मी अपलोड इट क्लास मटेरियल अपलोड but this is given for your understanding. Okay, and since you are not physically present, otherwise you have to do it now by yourself. So don't copy and paste from the program. You try to do by yourself, and then only you will be able to understand it. Okay. So now we go through it. Okay, the program now, is it visible? That file is coming.
Yes, sir.
That is izt.m. Okay, that is the MATLAB file. Okay. You can make it more generalized. And its output is what? You can see the output. Yes, this is the output. You see that, let me use the colon over there. Colon को ऐड कर दे रहा है हम. Otherwise, each time it will show the output. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So final output is should come this way only. That the IJT for ROC mod Z greater than, no, greater than 1, is greater than 0.5. Let me correct it. So I'll show the again updated program. Okay. It is, what was the program? ROC greater than 0.5. Okay. ROC greater than point, no, mod Z greater than 1. Mod Z greater, yes, correct. Mod Z greater than 1. So mod Z greater than 1, this is the output. Okay. And the IZT for ROC mod Z greater than 1, 2 into 1 to the power n un. 1 का भी पावर रख सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. alpha to the power n un. Okay, so that's why it is coming. Alpha is the constant that is coming there. R1 that is ये जो तुम्हारा जो पोल है नो पोल है 1, ठीक है, और R है 2. सो इसमें अल्फा टू द पावर n u n, अल्फा हो गया 1, और 2 हो गया उसका अल्फा, ये 1 आ रहा है पोल से P1 P2. तुम उसका पोल का भी प्लॉट कर सकते हो. P जो है ना, P तुम्हारा कौन सा है, P ये है पोल्स. P का वैल्यू देख सकते हो. पोल्स है 1, एक पोल है 1 में और एक पोल है 5 में. सो एक पोल है 1 और R क्या है, स्मॉल आर है, ये दो कांस्टेंट है. एक ये 2 है और एक ये है -1 है. सो 2 का पोल 1 जो है उसका कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग कोफिशिएंट है 2. 2 इंटू 1 to the power n u of n. Okay? और सेकेंड जो पोल है दैट इज 0.5. 0.5 का कांस्टेंट है -1. 0.5 का कांस्टेंट है -1. सो इट इज -1 इंटू 0.5 टू द पावर n u ऑफ n. और सेकेंड केस में जब ROC तुम्हारा इस रेंज में है तब एक पोल तुम्हारा है 1, ठीक है, तो ROC 0.5 के ऊपर जब है तो जेड का वैल्यू, पोल का वैल्यू कितना है, पोल का वैल्यू है 1. तो वो पोल के लिए जो सीक्वेंस बनेगा वो है 1 to the power n un, अल्फा टू द पावर n un और उसका कोफिशिएंट्स. लेकिन दूसरा जो पोल है 0.5, ठीक है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है क्या नहीं, देख लेते हैं. इसमें है, इसमें जो है इसमें थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम लग रहा है. दूसरा जो सीक्वेंस है दैट इज -1. जब पोल 1 से नीचे है 0.5, 0.5 वाला पोल इस ROC के अंदर होगा. उसके लिए जो सीक्वेंस है वो -n टू द पावर n. यहाँ पे ये थोड़ा गलत लिखा हुआ है. अच्छा एक सेकंड रुको, यहाँ पे थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम लग रहा है एक जगह पे. ये टोटल दे हैव मेड दैट इज causal sequence, but one part should be causal and another part should be anti-causal. Okay. So इसमें देख लेते हैं. इसमें DSP लेंगे, इसमें क्लास SPT. Now let me now please see my notes regarding that problem that I have explained earlier. Okay. Here again I am showing it is the same program. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see the program that problem that determine inverse Z transform of three cases, the same program, that is mod Z greater than 1, mod Z less than 0.5 and mod Z greater than 0.5 and less than 1. So when mod Z is greater than 1, that represents causal sequence and its partial fraction should be 2 by 1 minus Z inverse, okay, minus 1 by 1 minus 0.5 Z inverse. So in this case, one pole is at 1 and another pole is at 0.5, and R, that is P1, P2, 1 and 0.5, and roots are the constants, coefficients are 2 and 1. Okay. So फर्स्ट केस में जब mod z greater than 1 है तब क्या है, ROC जब mod z greater than 1 है तब क्या है, ये दो दो जो एक्सप्रेशन है, इंडिविजुअल दो जो एक्सप्रेशन, फर्स्ट एक्सप्रेशन जो है वो ये कॉजल सीक्वेंस रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, क्योंकि उसमें उसमें क्या है, 1 माइनस ए जेड इनवर्स है ना, 1 बाई 1 माइनस ए जेड इनवर्स. सो और उसमें मॉड जेड ग्रेटर देन, अगर ए है, मॉड जेड ग्रेटर देन ए है तो सीक्वेंस होगा ए टू द पावर एन यू एन. सो इसमें ए इज 1 है फर्स्ट केस में, तो वो ऑब्वियसली सिंस मॉड जेड आर ओ सी ऑलरेडी गिवन है, 1 से ज्यादा है, तो फर्स्ट सीक्वेंस तुम्हारा कॉजल होगा. और सेकेंड सीक्वेंस में क्या है, सेकेंड सीक्वेंस में पोल ए जो है 1 बाई 1 माइनस ए जेड इनवर्स, दिस वैल्यू ऑफ ए इज 0.5 है. तो मॉड जेड अगर 1 है तो ऑब्वियसली मॉड जेड 0.5, मॉड जेड अगर 1 से ज्यादा है तो ऑब्वियसली 0.5 से भी ज्यादा होगा. सेम थिंग है, 1 से ज्यादा मतलब 0.5 से ज्यादा है, तो इसीलिए इसका सीक्वेंस 2 into 1 to the power n यू एन माइनस 0.5 to the power n यू एन होगा. ये फर्स्ट केस. सेकेंड केस में मॉड जेड लेस देन 0.5 है. सो 0.5 अगर है तो दोनों ही उधर 1 है, हाँ, तो मॉड जेड 1 जो है ना, 1 तो 0.5 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता है. अल्फा अगर 1 है तो 1.5 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता है, तो ये तुम्हारा एंटी कॉजल हो गया. सिमिलरली 0.5 ऑलरेडी दिया हुआ है, पोल है, तो वो भी ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता, इसलिए दोनों एंटी कॉजल है. बट सेकेंड केस में यहाँ पे क्या है, फर्स्ट टर्म इज फॉर एंटी कॉजल, ठीक है, ग्रेटर देन और एक्सटीरियर ऑफ ए सर्किल, और इस केस में इंटीरियर ऑफ ए सर्किल. सो एक्शन क्या होगा, जो तुम्हारा 1 है, अल्फा टू द पावर एन यू एन, अल्फा 1 है, तो ये जो सेकंड कंडीशन है मॉड जेड लेस देन 1 वो सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है. तो फर्स्ट सीक्वेंस हो जाएगा तुम्हारा 2 टू द पावर एन 2 इंटू 1 टू द पावर एन यू माइनस एन माइनस 1, और सेकेंड सीक्वेंस में ये आ जा रहा है तुम्हारा 0.5 टू द पावर n un, ठीक है। तो ये कॉजल को सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है। तो इस हिसाब से तुम प्रोग्राम लिखो। अभी ये प्रोग्राम पूरा नहीं है, ठीक है। जस्ट यू टेक द हेल्प एंड अगेन आई एम here writing one this thing, one slide, okay, slide for this. I'm making this slide and paste it over of making one separate file, okay, and I'll upload this file into the lab team. Okay, you just go through the program, you go through this problem, understand the problem, and implement this in program. Otherwise, I will not accept. So इसको हम upload कर देंगे। एक second. Problem regarding inverse jet transform, ये फाइल नेम में रहेगा। Problem regarding inverse jet transform and solution. Class notes. ये कहाँ चला गया? TSP Labs. To make the MATLAB program. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All of you have understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो उसको देख लो, जेट ट्रांसफॉर्म भी क्लियर हो जाएगा, इन्वर्ट जेट ट्रांसफॉर्म क्लियर होगा और मैटलैब प्रोग्राम भी बन जाएगा। ठीक है, अभी हम क्विट करते हैं, ठीक है।
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.